and welcome back to the Fête Du Carnaval, which is our 3-shot. It is the last episode, and I am super, super excited. I'm excited for the feels of this episode. I have some feels planned, but that's good. My name is Aelxbomb, misspelled, of course, because I am incredibly dyslexic, and I am going to be your dungeon master for the night. Would everybody care to introduce themselves and just reintroduce their character super fast so you two people are, we'll start with Thasan.
Yeah, hi, I'm Drac or Draconics. You can find me on Twitter at Draconics. That's DRAKONIQUES. I use he, they pronouns, and I am a TTRPG performer, writer, producer, anything TTRPG related. I have my grubby little fingers in there. But today I'm going to be playing Thasan, who is a Goliath Hexblade Warlock. He also uses he, they pronouns, and the partner of Mirage, who, you know what, I'll throw it over to next.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jay. I use they, them. And today I am playing Mirage Han, who is a slender but very well muscled Kalashtar. I am the shortest in the group by a lot, standing at a measly 5'7". Wow. I am a Way of the Shadow monk, and Mirage carries a beautiful wooden quarterstaff that has carved into it lots of glowing geometric patterns. And Mirage wears a ton of layered clothing, layered jewelry. Very, the chest is open. But yeah.
Wait, really fast. What is everyone's heights?
I think mine is like 7 foot something. I can't remember the exact number.
7 foot something.
6'8".
Stampy is 9 feet, I believe we said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
5'7". 5'7".
9 feet, funny enough, is the very cap of a medium creature. 9'1" makes it a large. I know this. I have a character that's 9 foot specifically for that reason.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Also, there's a dog here, so Poncho might make a vocal appearance at some point tonight.
He is a beagle, so
he is a beagle.
Yeah,
that's what beagles do.
He's making a lot of noise at the foot of the desk right now, and I cannot see him because this desk is so large.
He's 81.
One fear.
Oh my god.
Okay, the turning to the camera is like 10 out of 10.
It's good.
I love it with the lighting, because your lighting gets really dark whenever you turn to the camera, so it's like,
oh really?
Oh my god.
It looks great.
I'm ready to commit to this bit.
All right. Yeah, let's have Kraz introduce himself.
Hello, I'm Daryl Dorsey. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Mr._Daryl Dorsey, and also on Twitch at Daryl Sucks at Gaming. I am playing Kraz Dandian, this College of Sword Bard, who has yet to actually use his sword. He, as I said, he's 6'8", gold dragonborn. He has the tendrils going down. He has a shorter muzzle that gives him more of a humanoid features and emotions, not the typical just dragon head on a human body. And he dresses like Ares from Xena Warrior Princess. He has 2 daggers in each of his boots, and he carries a rapier, and the hilt of the rapier does very much resemble a microphone, a la Freddie Mercury walking around with just part of the mic stand. And over to my best buddy, Stampy.
Hello. I'm Dylan, or Super Dylan. Please use she, he, and they pronouns when you talk about me behind my back. And my character that I'm playing tonight is Stampy. As we said, a very tall, very, very wise elephant.
Do we want to give any reminders of the professor?
Oh, yes, of course. Traveling as always with his academic advisor,
Right.
Professor Hayseed. Yeah,
Hayseed, that's right. It's mainly why I was asking, because I forgot the name. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
All right, and with that, the last thing that we were doing in our lovely little 3-shot, we had escaped from the space clowns, which
Mhm.
was a lovely adventure involving trying to allow the larger ship to escape. You found some skippers, ended up on this asteroid in the middle of deep space that has a refueling station for air envelopes so that ships can travel larger distances. Trying and realizing that you're not going to make it anywhere besides here, you try to find a ride, and you do find a ride on one condition: a giant space hamster. You must acquire a giant space hamster to be the ship's pet. And you say, okay, well, that's easy enough. So you go over to they went over to the Doar city that runs the air fueling station, and was requested to kill a gigapede that had seemingly popped up. They thought that they had killed them all, but one had sprouted, and so they needed them to kill this gigapede. And thus they did by running the stupid animal headfirst into a lake that it was too heavy to swim out of, so it sunk to the bottom. Our crew then had a Baywatch moment where we undressed and entered into the water, which very quickly realized was not necessarily water. It doesn't hurt you, but it's a different consistency than water. And swam down to the bottom, got some of the carapace off of it. And I think that was where we were. We were regrouping after having a little bit of Baywatch and carapace.
Yeah. I guess slick with whatever this liquid is. The sun is like walking out of like 2 armfuls of this carapace, and sets it down. Oh, okay. I thought that was going to be water. Very much not.
Is it? That's bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's not hurting or anything like that. It's just it's like oily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah. And I'm not against, getting oiled up. Usually I'm just prepared for it before it happens.
All right, easy. I've seen your bottles of oil. All right.
I know. Yeah, I know. I don't hide them.
Yeah. It's weird when I catch you oiling up just your arms. Just your arms.
Go, you know what? Keep the bedroom talk for the bedroom.
Look, some of us are naturally shiny. And I like turn so my scales catch the light just so
Bling, bling.
get my anime sparkle going.
In the background, can I just like taste it? Can Mirage just taste a little?
Yeah, it doesn't really taste like anything, but you get that feeling that like mint gives you, where it's like a cooling sensation. It's kind of pleasant in like a refreshing kind of way. Like maybe something you would drink to like make yourself wake up a little bit.
Is it like mouthwash?
No, not like mouthwash. It has that cooling sensation like mouthwash, but it's more minty. It's more like peppermint ice cream, or like mint ice cream.
Okay, cool. I'm still gargling it. So just in the background, as y'all are having this conversation, like Mirage is gonna have a little gargle.
All right. That's how you gonna word it?
Yep.
All right, cool.
Hmm.
All right, cool. This is where we live now.
I suppose I should gather some to study.
Couldn't hurt.
For the remainder of our journey, of course.
Yeah. Do you want to get some off my body, or are you gonna want to go straight for the source?
Mirage like
Oh,
cups
leave your
some
body be.
and walks over to Stampy. As it's like leaking out of my hands, as water does. Or water, I guess. And I'm just gonna offer my dripping hands to you and say, it tastes like mint.
Oh, I will put that in the notes. Thank you. And will
You want to try
Oh.
some?
you've done that part of the experiment, so I consider it done. I have other tests to do. and
Well,
Stampy will.
Snappy, I'm
collect
glad you
some.
learned your lesson because the last time we drank something, it could have turned you into a space clown. I was going to
Well-
remind you of that, but you did it for me. All right.
Well, we didn't know, but now Mirage has done part of the research for us.
I'm glad to help. And now it has completely leaked out of my hands.
Yeah. Stampy has about 2 drops in the vial by the time he's able to get it under your hands. He goes, well, all right, enough of that.
Do we just need to bring back part of the carapace, or like the head or anything? Is it still small, by the way? Because you
No,
Uh,
it is at this point
probably like
pretty big,
re-large, and like at this point, some of its butt is like sticking out, like the tail. It's so large that the tail end of it is like sticking out of this small lake. Because the lake is deep, but it's only about like 10 feet across. It's not a very large. It's more like a pond than a lake, but it's just deep into the.
Well, I think that we ought to just bring the entire thing, don't you? And Stampy is going to trumpet a little bit with his nose and cast floating disc. And what it's going to look like is it's going to look like an old circus carousel without the horses. So it's just like this like kind of hovering, spinning disc that's emanating a little bit of like circus noise. And it can hold up to 500 pounds
Oh yeah, that should be good.
and travel with us. So we can just get it on there. And we can head on out.
see Kraz's eye starts twitching as the music keeps going.
Don't mind that. It comes with the
I'll-
spell.
I'll grab like the butt of this gigapede and hoist it onto the floating disc.
Yeah, you begin to just like, and it's pretty long, but you can curl it onto the, because how big is it? It's like 20 feet, 10 feet by 10 feet, I think.
It is no. It can. It has to stay within 20 feet of me. It travels within 20 feet of me. It's 3 feet in diameter, so it's 3 feet.
Oh, it's pretty small.
Yeah.
Still, if we could just like wrap it, if we could tie it, I'll say this in character. Well, if we can just like tie a portion of its body to this, it could just float and we'd just drag it along. It's
It
already
could just
pretty much,
drag it.
yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
much already ruined that. And I just look back at the abject freaking chaos that this thing made when it was running away from me.
Yeah.
Just trees strewn everywhere.
Yeah, that should be fine. I can get it tied. Pretty good with knots. And I'll just tie the carapace. I'll tie the gigapede to the floating disc. And I'll like stand behind it as well if it falls, or if I can like shove it back up since I'm able to carry a decent amount of weight.
So you tie it on, and you're actually quite impressed with how you're able to wrap it around this like circular floating circus thing, because of your skills as like a sailor and stuff, and so it's pretty secure on there, like, and you move the disc, and it just drags along on the ground.
We've got the valuable parts of it off already, so I don't really mind if it gets some extra damage. I'll like
Yeah.
pick up the carapace pieces again.
It's just the proof we need to get the hamster.
It's
Yeah.
perfect.
Get the big bug to get the hamster to give to the Doa. Don't call them penguins.
I wasn't gonna call them penguins.
Daryl almost called them penguins. That was Kraz correcting Daryl just now.
We've got all
Alright.
the fourth wall breaks.
Daryl's not
Perfect.
here anymore. All the voices are competed for each other. All right. So I believe that was the only part of this portion of the business.
Yes. Yeah, we can start going.
All right. Stampy.
So
Are you
you
always
make
gonna
your.
fly?
Oh, go ahead.
Am
Was it-
I? What?
Are you always gonna fly doing every? I just, at some point you're gonna have to teach me how to do that.
Well, I'm sorry. I thought that you all didn't learn how to do things. You just had it innately thrust upon you by nature
Okay.
without going to years of schooling.
Okay. I don't necessarily need to learn how to do it. I can just figure it out. But since you're here, I'm not adverse to learning something. All right. Don't put words in my mouth, Stampy.
Well, I do suppose that if you wanted to, you could audit a class with Professor Hasty
Oh,
and
oh,
I.
but
I could
which one did-
student teach.
Okay, thank you.
I'm just going to sell a little bit more of my soul and just learn how to do it later on. I think that'd be a bit easier.
What?
Okay.
What was that last
Anyway,
one?
let's go. And I was going to start walking, walking through the
Walking.
Um,
Just walking.
As you walk through the fungal forest, the scent of mint really doesn't leave from around where you are. And you begin to take note of not ferocious beast, but little critters, things that kind of look like rabbits or little mammals that seem to be living here in this fungal forest. They're coming behind the gigapede and eating the mint juices that it's leaving behind. They're lapping them up. So you kind of get the feeling that this must be a natural source for low lying in the totem pole animals, or in the like levels of predatoriness.
The food chain.
Yeah, the food chain. Damn it!
I
Thank
was
you.
also like, what? There's a word for this. What
I
is-
know.
Why
I'm like,
can't
I know
think
what I
of
was
it?
thinking about, and I'm like, I don't want
Alex, I was gonna let you live on that one. I was just gonna let it go.
I got you. I got
Thank
you.
you.
Mirage
Thank
may
you.
not be that smart, but
Mhm.
I got a couple brain cells left.
So you get the feeling that you are just kind of covered in food at this point, and quite safe. As you continue to drag along this gigapede with you guys, eventually you come to a clearing that leads up to the Doar civilization, the Doar settlement. And there are several Doars standing there with pointy sticks waiting, and they see you and you see them, and they make eye contact with you, and they're very confused.
Oh, hello. Are you going to make a barbecue? You're going to spit roast something?
No, we were going to kill whatever came out of the forest.
Well,
No, it's
well,
just us.
Don't,
Well,
yeah,
we-
don't do that. We just came out of the forest, and we would very much not like to die.
And we
We
killed
got
the
you
thing
your
that.
thing.
Yes, we did it.
Are you covered in weeping? Oh, it's covered in weeping.
In
Yes,
what?
whatever that is.
And
I'm
you
The
what-
guessing
minty
that's
stuff.
the mint. Yeah, I think that's the mint stuff.
Yes. Many people say
It's
that
real
it's
nice.
close to mint, whatever this peculiar thing is. It's actually something that some of the mushrooms in the forest secrete, and it fills the pond in order for the animals to eat it, and then we trap them. So you're in animal food.
Mm.
You eat
Well,
animal
what
food
is-
on the regular?
No, I just like trying new things. All the
Yes.
new things.
Good lord.
I mean,
I'm very adventurous.
whatever floats your boat. And like, all right, go ahead and leave the body there to be disassembled. I believe you were talking to Mr. Puffin.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Lovely and very uncute fellow.
Okay, head back over to the caves, where the air caves, and he will be able to reach with you shortly. And you see them all take out tiny little daggers and start walking over to the gigapede to probably disassemble it for food.
I'm just imagining
Waddling.
By the way, how much can I sell these for? I want to like show the piece of carapace that I pulled off.
Oh, those don't sell for much. You can just leave them here.
Oh, that
Hmm.
sounds like the most obvious lie I've ever heard.
Yes, I know valuable stuff when I see it, and I know this is very useful for armor.
Yes, you already established yourself as a people of tradesmen and salesmanship. We don't try to trick a trickster. All right, it's what I do.
You can't blame me for trying.
Of course I can't. I would have blamed you if you didn't try. In fact, you've gained my respect.
That carapace, you can keep that piece. We'll take all the others. That carapace is able to be fashioned into armor, or is able to be carved out into natural made weapons that people who don't want to use metal because metal is bad and not natural get to use. So if you take that to anywhere that there is a blacksmith or a welder who actually knows what they're doing with organic material, you will be able to make an organic weapon out of it.
I leaned over to Hassan. There's most likely going to be. What accent was that?
I have no idea, but it was funny.
There's most likely going to be a blacksmith or someone, a weaponsmith where we're going anyway. That many learned people, there has to be someone that specializes.
Yeah, that's a good point. This could be
Sure, metallurgy is a class that they teach at schools and colleges. It is.
I'd imagine so.
Yes.
Honestly, these could, if I'm going to make weapons out of this, maybe I can make some decent bullets. Maybe like shrapnel pieces.
I thought you've been shooting magic this entire time.
Oh, no.
You have to
I already-
reload the magic weapon.
No. I just need to
You
put one
don't?
bullet in there and it just keeps going. The weapon
Oh.
is magic, but I'm not actually casting spells, if that makes sense.
Oh, I thought you just had a magical thing that just made it some ammunition. I've seen that before.
Yeah, no, I
Need
just
to
need to
talk-
put one. I just need to put one of it in there and it'll just keep shooting that one.
And how did you get that weapon again?
I found it.
You didn't sell anything for it.
No.
And you're definitely not a pirate.
I am as you might say, a
private-
corsair, a privateer.
Yes, a
Yeah.
privateer. Of course, yes. You and Mirage are privateers. We all.
Yeah.
This is a thing we all believe and know.
Yes.
I've never just been listening to you all invisible while you two were talking ever.
No, I'm sure you haven't. That'd be
Yes.
an extreme violation of privacy.
So where's
Mirage
Mr. Puffin?
flushes.
And it's not like, which is weird because we don't mind people watching.
Okay, that's not. What,
Or
okay,
listening.
That took it to a different level.
I think
Different level.
I think this is happening in front of the door as well.
I like to imagine this is happening while you're walking through town and all of the people are like foreigners or like, tourists, and then like going
Forest
back to
covered in goop.
'cause, I grew up in Galveston, which is an island, and it's just so funny. That's just what I'm imagining. I'm imagining the tourist of Galveston saying these weird things, and you're just like, freaking tourist. That's what I'm imagining. And so as you travel through the city, you see more
We
and more
did
of the
not-
Doar. What?
I was saying, Stampy,
You-
good thing I spritz out of there.
You glitched out for me, at
Okay.
least.
I said, Stampy, good thing that neither of us drank nor touched the goop, because I refuse to be referred to as the goop tourist.
Well, I mean, we still have it with us, and we're with the goop tourists. And I mean, I just, are you going to let their perception of you, drive your every move? I mean, if you want to touch the goop, you should touch the goop.
Stampy's having this conversation with me while I'm standing 6 feet away from the group.
We've got the goop group and we've got the non-goop group.
Yep.
I mean, I have 2 drops of it in a vial here.
There's a difference.
goop
I
Nice
did
history.
plan to study it, but truthfully, I am very busy.
It's mushroom droppings. We established that that's mushroom droppings.
We were told that. Do you believe everything you're told, Kraz? I mean, I like to do my due diligence and research.
But are you going through something? Do you need a hug?
Well, I don't need one.
Good
But
lord.
are you offering one?
Just don't pick me up, and I go over and hug Stampy.
Stampy like makes himself small and like just kind of like goes and shrugs down, and goes and just there's a little like trumpet, like a little soft trumpet.
Oh,
Oh, Stampy. What the fuck?
Yeah. Thank you. That was very nice. I hope that made you feel better. And he will dust off his robes. Ah, very good.
Kraz
Yeah.
spits out a bird feather because he ate Professor Hasty. No.
Oh my god.
No, it's all been a lead up just to get close enough to eat the bird. Not really.
That's very good because I cannot start over with a new professor. It would be
It's all about the improv.
dastardly. Mm.
Did we ever figure out where Mr. Puffin was, or are we just going straight back to that same location anyway?
Yeah, you're
think-
going to the
yeah.
you're going to the air caves where they pump the air. And as you enter into them, you see once again there are 4 hamsters on 4 hamster wheels, doing a nice little trot, making the air be synthesized and making the air be pumped into the envelopes that are currently needing air and into the envelope around the asteroid itself. And then there are 4 hamsters off to the side, kind of chilling out, maybe eating some hay, just being giant hamsters. And as you walk in, Mr. Puffin turns around and goes, "Oh, wonderful. I have been told you were successful. We also heard that you were successful. My God."
Yes, we do the job well and we make it known.
Also,
So
you
here's
told me
the
fast.
gigapede.
Lovely. We will go ahead and start disassembling and
But yeah, do you have a towel by any chance? I think the sun is still like topless, covered in goo, like just to dry myself off.
no, not for you.
No?
Not for
No, it's
that.
fine.
No. Yeah.
That's fine.
No.
You guys
As
bring
promised.
a towel, and I just throw him a towel. Don't forget to bring a towel.
Thank you. And I'll just wipe myself down.
As promised, 1 giant hamster of your choosing. Now, the 4 here are probably the most viable options for ships, as they do not get motion sick and also are quite tame. So have your pick of the litter, if you will, and if you need anything, I will be over here preening my feathers.
I
course.
mean, enjoy.
That's
And over and where he gestures is this like it's not really a cage because they're not really going anywhere. It just kind of has like a 2-foot fence around it just to like designate the area as the chill area. And it's covered in like some kind of strawish hay kind of thing. There are pellets for the things to eat. There's mica for them to eat, stuff like that. And there's just 4 hamsters just having a grand old time, just living their life. There is 1 pure white hamster that has blue eyes. There is 1 hamster that is both white and like cream/orange splotches. There is a hamster that is black with brown splotches, and then there is a hamster that is pure black.
I
February. Let's get the pure black one.
Hmm.
Can I gauge which is the healthiest hamster?
Yeah, roll an animal handling check. Oh my god,
Okay.
fucking Daryl's losing it.
I love Daryl so much. Jesus.
Never let me play a bard. It's nothing but quips.
I rolled a nat 20. So
Yeah.
just 20, but nat 20.
So surprisingly to you, but maybe not surprisingly because they make money for them. All of the hamsters are in really good condition. Even the ones that are running are in really good condition. It's a really nice sign to see that they have hamsters that trade off with one another. You also can kind of see down one of these like hallways, like in this cave that they've carved out. There's definitely like more hamsters down that way that are like maybe like training or like babies, but there is signs of actual like animal well taken care of animals, you know what I mean? So it's not really they're all in pretty good shape. They're all just a little bit tired because they just ran their thing, but they're all in good shape doing what they need to do. No animal abuse in my games. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Okay, so I can't. So they're all just incredibly good shape. There's nothing I can't tell which one's the best because they're all like drawn.
I mean,
first,
like obviously they have personalities, but you would need to like interact with them to have the person to understand the personalities.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see if
I just
have
turn to others
spell.
and go. They all look pretty much in great condition. I think any one of them will be worth the gigapede we gave.
Of course, of course I don't have speak with animals. Why would I take that spell?
Well, let me look at it if you don't mind.
Oh, yes, you're quite.
Please.
You're well versed. Hey?
All right. And Stampy takes his tiny spectacles and shimmies them all the way down to the bottom of his trunk, and his trunk goes to inspect. Gives it a good sniff. I would like to make a good old-fashioned nature check to see how good this thing is.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Which one? There's the pure white, the blonde, the black and brown, and then the black.
The black one was the one that the rest of the group wanted to go with, so let me see if this is gonna work out for us well.
Gotta go with the black one, baby.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Yeah. 21.
Okay. So the number one thing that you get from this hamster versus all of the other hamsters is just a cool kind of like tone. Very like okay with you touching its ears. Very okay with you like touching the top of its head even though it can't see you. Just a very calm demeanor, a very like go with the flow kind of a thing. Like maybe you like give it like one type of food and it eats it, and you give it another type of food and it eats that too, and you give it another type of it just eats that too. Like it's very cool and collected. Just very
and if I remember right, they want it as a pet, right? They don't want to like kill and eat it, right?
No,
Okay.
they want a pet.
Okay. Well, I have never had a pet, but I do think that this one has like a good set of behaviors that are good for being a pet. It seems to be very calm, and I sort of like trunk and like give it a little like pick it up by the scruff. And
Totally chill.
see, it's very affectionate. I think people who like pets like that. What do you think, Professor Hayseed? Have you ever had pets?
Let's not gloss over the fact that your trunk just picked up something the size of a bear. Good Lord, man.
Well, I do. There's a gym at the university.
I see.
Yes.
I didn't realize your trunk had a bicep in it till just now.
The more Stampy lore we get, the funnier
love
it
it.
becomes. So just the funnier.
Well,
Buff.
Just the trunk, though.
Just the trunk has
Skinny
both
elephant.
biceps and a six pack.
Strong trunk.
Yes. Well, I think that's my vote.
Hey, I have no preference. Let's go for that then.
Well, this one does seem like the one to be more amenable to us. Perhaps won't try to attack us when we're not looking. I go to pet it.
It's happy. It leans
Okay.
into you. It's good.
All right. Is there a
Um,
leash? Is there a leash law that we have to follow, or
And as Mr. Puffin walks up, he has a little underbelly feather, one of the fluffy ones, kind of stuck in his beak.
Mhm.
Did you make a selection?
Kraz is behind everyone, just kind of doing this at Mr. Puffin? You have a
Did you make a selection?
yes. Okay, we're ignoring it. Yes.
What? And he kind of finally realizes it and goes like this. Oh my! Oh, I'm sorry. I got a little too into preening myself. Good. I will go and fetch a harness for you and a leash just because I like you oh so much.
Does it have a name?
No, we don't really give them names. We just kind of allow them to exist as they want.
Okay. I'm calling it Noir for the time being. Does anyone have a problem with that? Or
Nope.
Not-
Again, it's not my pet.
yeah, it's not mine. I don't want to keep calling it hamster in a room full of hamsters.
Fair.
And he goes off into one of the passageways and then comes back with this very large, like bear-sized, leather, well-made harness with a little hook at the back, and it hooks onto a leash. He says, "All right, well, I'm far too small and adorable to put this on, so here you go."
I'll gladly do it. Yeah, sure. I'll take it. And I'll put the harness on the bear hamster, the bear-sized hamster.
Yeah, the
Bear.
hamster looks
arm in
like
here.
totally chill. It can't like do what you're telling it to, but if you bring its hand through, it's chill with it. Why are you laughing at?
Captions picked up Bamster.
Oh.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, I guess it's a bamster, a bear hamster.
It's a bamster now.
Star.
I'm stealing it for whatever next game I write. There will be no hamster.
But no, I put a harness on. I'm like, I'll take the leash just in case it does decide to suddenly run. I think I might have a better chance of keeping it in place.
I don't know. We just saw Stampy's gigantic trunk muscle.
I mean, that is a good point. Yeah.
Also, I'm fairly strong. I just don't. It's just a
I
lot of
no, I
hard
don't
work.
doubt that. I'm just saying.
I mean, you saw the abs. You saw the abs in
Hey,
the chest.
hey, I saw the abs.
Yeah, you saw what was happening over there. Come on. Saw what's
I
happening.
saw what was happening. I trust me, and I'll put a hand on Kraz. I saw what was happening.
Oh, I thought you were gonna put the hand on the
Oh
second.
no! And but I was like, I think if push came to shove, I probably have a better hold on Noir than most people here.
I suppose.
Well, I don't care where you go, but you can't stay here. We have things to do, and now I need to go get another hamster. So, I believe this is an agreement.
I put out.
He
It was a
takes his
pleasant,
little not wing
flipper.
flipper.
Yeah.
Takes his little flipper.
Ah, yes. Good day.
Good day. And
Thank you
Yeah.
for doing business with us.
I
Bye.
thought
And as we leave, we just hear them all start tap dancing, don't we?
Oh my god, happy feet.
So you exit the air caves and make your way and start making your way back over to where the ships are. You can see just as you left them, the ships are it's about evening at this point. The ship is still there. A new ship has not arrived. It is just that ship. And it seems that they were waiting for you because they're all kind of standing there with the kid, with Theron. And Theron's like at this point on the ogre's shoulders, and the parents are like, our kid makes friends with everyone. And whenever they see you come out of the woods, they're like, huh? And then whenever they see the hamster in the background, literally all of these rough, tough, rugged, like freight train workers are like, what? Like they're just so excited for this freaking hamster.
Like any adult when they see a puppy being brought to them. Yeah.
Essentially.
We come bearing great gifts, and by gifts I mean the singular one. We bring a hamster, and I like just gesture for the hamster. I like pat the hamster on the butt to have it go over to the rest of the crew.
The ogre first mate says, "You brought us the best gift of all." And he takes the hamster, who is like, smaller than him, and he picks this hamster up. He just picks it up, and the hamster's like, "Oh God." And he's like, "All right, you're coming with me now." And he starts carrying him onto the ship as everyone starts loading up. And Theron jumps down and he was put down, and he runs over to you guys, and he's like, that's a big hamster.
Yes, we fought a bigger bug to get the big hamster.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he looks at Thasan and says, Thasan, your clothes are wet.
Yes. I ended up inside a pond, a lake of some kind. Not quite water, but
Mushroom goop.
He goes over and he puts one of his hands on your pants, and he goes like this, and you think he's like trying to pants you, but then you realize he actually says a cantrip while he does that, and prestidigitations your pants clean.
Whoa. Nice.
Yeah.
Didn't have to go to years of grueling school or end up in hundreds, maybe even thousands of platinums of debt for that one.
Nope, just born this way. And he's like proud of himself.
So someone won't even look at Stampy.
I do not see it.
Oh, but we should get on the ship before they leave us.
Kraz does break out into born this way when he says that. In the background, he
I
does
love that bard. I've been to one of her concerts. It was great.
Where
Theron
is the Zodar at?
Theron goes sprinting off, and nice timing. As the Theron goes sprinting off, you see the Zodar. And every other time you've seen the Zodar, whenever you haven't been around it for a while, or it's just kind of been like idling by, it has its head back and it has its arm back and it's floating and it's limp and you can just move it. When you come back this time, the Zodar is standing and not like slouched. It's like standing. And it's kind of looking at the ship. At least you would it's pointed in the direction of the ship. Its eyes are still the two slits, and it doesn't have a mouth. It can't make facial expressions because of the anatomy, but it's just kind of like staring at the ship.
I'd ask it a question, but it can't talk. Well, it can't answer. I think it only has like one more. What is that? Three? Was it three? Two
Three
total.
Three total.
Well, three total. Two more.
And I can't tell. I couldn't tell if it was just flat out ignoring me when I was just I wonder if there's a workaround. Like if I just gave it a list of set things to point at, would that work, or does that count towards the total?
Like if we wrote many answers in the air and had it point to the correct ones.
Well, I was just gonna put yes and no on a paper and put one
A
on
Ouija
each
board?
arm.
Yes.
I refuse
Last,
to.
it was either the first or second session. Mirage rolled really well to know things about this thing, and Mirage
Oh.
did tell you all that it's literally 3 communications. So any kind of communicating counts. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay.
This is Jay reminding you.
That's right. Yeah, right. So it's not like pointing instead of talking wouldn't buy us more.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
no,
still
magic
count.
is pretty strict when it comes to restrictions. I imagine it would probably cover those bases as well, at least from what Mirage told us.
And I could be wrong, but that's what I think.
Well, why don't we just ask it outright? What do we need to know? I mean, it's got 2 more communications.
Well, honestly, I think the only thing I'm concerned about is that it doesn't want to go to the Inforium. I'd rather not take a thing that honestly saved our lives against its will to a place it doesn't want to go to.
I would agree, but maybe we should ask it then where it would like to go instead.
That would give us more information, actually, yes.
I think that would, I believe that would be worth another communication. It saw fit to give us one to save us.
Why don't we get on the boat before it leaves, and then we do all the talking?
Hey,
Of course.
Yes, because no matter what, we're going to need that boat anyway.
come on, my very ornate lamp. It's time for us to get on board the ship.
Without like even looking at you guys, he begins making his movements towards the ramp to get on the ship.
Yeah, and we'll follow suit.
Yeah, so you get on the ship, and the first thing that you see while on this ship is just the overjoyed crew working almost double time because of just how happy they are. And this hamster is just exploring. He's just having a good old time, having a little explore. He's coming in and out of outside. He's going up and looking over the railings and all this kind of stuff. And while all this is happening, the ogre is, giving off commands and stuff. Meanwhile, you haven't really seen much of the captain, which I forgot what I named the captain, if everyone remembers, because I did not write it down for some reason. I did give him a name.
I don't have it. I never asked. There's also the fact that I just flat out never asked.
Yeah, he yelled it. So if no one remembers that, I'll just give him a different name because I didn't write it down, which I'm surprised. But he's gonna the captain, you don't really see the captain all that much, but one of the things that you do see is the 2 UNT adults kind of, excited with Theron. Theron's like talking about how he's gonna go out into deep space and he's so excited. And you can tell that the parents are a little overwhelmed, but doing okay. The Zodar kind of goes into the center of the there's the two things that the sails are on. What are those things? Bastions? I don't remember. But it goes to the mast. There's 2 masts. It goes in between the 2 masts, and it just kind of stands there.
Hey, Zoda, do you mind? I know you want to be out in the open, but you're sort of precious cargo. And if I were, let's say hypothetically, I was a pirate out in the deep space, deep astral sea. And if in this hypothetical I was a pirate and I saw something as precious as you just out there on top of the deck, it would make the ship you're on a target. So how about we go below deck?
So the Zodar doesn't look at you. The Zodar doesn't acknowledge you at all. And takes a long, deep moment. And then surprisingly, turns and starts to head for lower deck. Something that he's never acknowledged you're speaking before.
I think even as I was speaking, I just expected not to get any reaction. So when I see them turn and start walking, I'm like, oh, it worked. Okay. And I'll just like follow it below deck.
I was totally gonna dance battle that thing if it stayed up on top.
The Zodar heads down below deck and kind of goes to where all of you guys, where all your sleeping cots and all of your hammocks are. And once he reaches the inside of the room, he kind of scoots over a little bit so he's not in the way of the door. And then once again, you see him like kind of go into a slouchy position. Almost as if like this is his like, and now I sit here. Like this is his sitting.
Okay.
I would imagine because he's very much shown the capability to leave and move on its own. If it didn't want to go where we're taking it, it would have left by now. It doesn't exactly need to breathe in the vacuum of, well, out there. The sun sea.
Yes. No, that's a very good point actually. Even when we were in our little one-seaters, it was floating behind us when it could very easily have just left.
It could have left while we were gone getting a hamster.
Yeah.
I feel like perhaps it has more knowledge than we know, but can't share it, hence they only are capable of speaking 3 times. I mean, there was did Mirage was the one that rolled to like know they were servants of the gods and stuff, or was that what we were told beforehand? I'm mixing up memories.
I think we got told barely anything really about the Zod. I think what we know is from Mirage's role.
Mirage,
Yeah.
yes. So yeah, the servants. And if it was a servant of some supreme being once upon a time, it has to have hold a vast wealth of knowledge and what have you. So, needless to say, it's most likely the smartest thing in the room. No offense, Professor Hayseed.
Okay. Well, if that's the case,
it is an ancient creation that served primordial beings and possibly deities. You put your pride aside, Stampy.
well, that's not my pride.
That's 1,000 years worth of book reading right there.
I feel like I may have done that. Although maybe I'm
1,000 years worth of book reading?
up changing the hours, but we'll see. Anyway,
I just pat Stampy on the shoulder. Okay, but it's okay. Here's a peanut.
thank you. I'm gonna turn down a peanut. Don't be ridiculous.
Sometimes I hear my own bits and I hear how ridiculous they are, and I laugh at them.
Mhm.
At the fact that they're so dumb. Not that they're funny; they're just dumb to me.
I think they're great.
As you all are having this conversation and having this great debate on what to do with the Zodar, you hear flippity 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 down the stairs, and Theron comes down the stairs, and his parents soon follow him afterwards. He's like, "Have you ever seen a boat take off? Apparently, it's cool. They like whoosh."
I've seen many boats take off. I've seen my boat take off.
Your boat?
Mer- yeah.
A boat?
I have is honestly, I think more boat is the word that is not quite right now. It's in disarray. It's in disrepair.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, my uncle, he is one of the premier people whenever it comes to spell jamming and ships and ship improvements. So I'm sure he'll be able to help you.
Yes, no, I really would appreciate that. I spoke to your parents about that already, so hopefully your uncle can help us out in that regard. We honestly took this initial job for repairs, so any extra we can get would be great. Um, but I don't know how experienced everyone else is. I know Mirage and I we've been on a ship for quite a while now, but how about you, Krez and Stampy?
Yes.
I mean, do you want to see the ship take off?
I mean,
I mean,
I wouldn't mind it.
I'm not opposed to it at all.
Then
Yeah,
let's go
all right.
upstairs.
All right.
And the kid Theron just whoop and sprints. And you see the parents be like, we have gone up and down the stairs so many times today. Oh my god. Like that's the face that they're giving.
Look,
And they go back up and
I give Inchi and Lussix. I said, if you want to take a rest, we've got it.
oh, are you sure?
I mean, we faced down horrible monsters, weird clowns, gigantic bugs. A child with untold magical properties seems like a cakewalk at this point.
We would very much appreciate being able to get off our feet.
Go take a nap.
We will. And they head down and go into the kind of like chill out on the ground. It seems that the crew has given them some blankets now, so they kind of have a bunch of blankets piled up on top of each other to sleep in.
Let's see if I have the sleep spell. So I'm just gonna cast that on the kid.
Just magically make the kid sleep.
It's the D&D version of just giving your kid some cough medicine.
All right, so you guys go ahead and head upstairs to watch the.
Yes.
So as you head upstairs, you can see now that the essentially harpoon anchors that have been anchoring them into the asteroid have been released. And you're kind of floating. The whole ship is kind of, floating in space, just directly next to the asteroid at this point. It's still in the asteroid's gravitational pull because the asteroid is large enough to have one of those. But the ship needs to get out of this gravitational pull. And the way that it gets out of this gravitational pull is with a magical thrust of a cannon. They actually take some of the cannons on the side and that are normally, and that all ships are equipped with cannons on the side, and this is why they fill it with a sort of interesting bluish purplish powder. And instead of lighting the cannon, they supercharge a spell slot into the cannon, allowing that to build up pressure and force the ship to pull away from the asteroid. And as this happens, you all feel great. Just as in the ocean, it goes down and then up, it goes out and then equalizes. So it's very similar, but still a different movement. If you have never been on a ship like departing from port before, you're probably going to have no idea what that feels like. So it's a very jarring movement that you're probably prepared for because you're seeing them load cannons, but Theron's not prepared for it, so he falls flat on his ass. Theron's just like down on the floor.
Could I make an acrobatics check to like catch him, but in a super extra way?
Sure. Yes, absolutely.
Like supremely unnecessarily extra. That's a nat 15 for a total of, because I want to be extra on the extra, for a total of 21 total.
How do you catch him?
I do an unnecessary no hand cartwheel, but the hand actually catches him, and and when I stand up, he's upright in my arms, and I just absolutely nothing happened. I don't even acknowledge the fact that I just caught him. Like,
he blinks a couple of times and goes, "I didn't know you were cool."
I put him down.
The kid's super confused. He doesn't know why he just insulted you. He's like, well, you're cool.
I immediately go find something. It's time for your lesson. I'm going to teach you how to sword fight today.
Oh my god.
I go find like a stick and two
Well,
sticks.
he has a play rapier.
Oh, then I keep mine in its sheath, and I'm going to say, I'm going to show you. I'm going to take you through a few steps.
Okay.
This is your lesson for the day because we're giving your mom and dad a bit of a break.
Okay.
All right. And if you actually want to go through this, I will. But I will happily roll to just give this kid fighting experience.
No, I assume that you would just take him through a lot of the basics because you're like proficient in rapier, right?
Yes. I'm proficient in long sword, daggers, and short swords, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike a lot of other bards. Let me see.
So while Kraz is with his newfound coolness giving a hard lesson to Theron, what is everybody else doing now that you guys are off to sea? Probably going to be a couple of days. What would everybody like to do?
I would like to try to research this thing again, if
The
that's all
slime?
right.
Or the Zodar?
Ooh, the Zodar.
Yeah, the Zodar.
Yes, I want to research the Zodar again. I want to do from like an Arcana perspective, study its magical properties, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Or actually, you know what? Can I study it historically?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go for it.
Okay. 19.
So you can decide where you have heard this, but it took you a while until you like stared at the face and you realized that it doesn't have a face. It just has eyes that can't make expressions. And it reminds you of this old tale that was written and recorded in a language that is dead now. But you know, people at the college, people wherever have, you know, reworked the language, and they hadn't completely deciphered what they had, but what they did decipher is that there were these beings that seemed to be made out of obsidian, they called it black glass metal.
Mm-hmm.
And they showed no emotion. They gave no care for what people said. But they were harbors of misery.
Oh.
And that was how far the translation had gotten by the time that you had disconnected from the people translating it. There was more to be translated, but that was how far they had gotten.
Well, I don't feel particularly miserable. I don't think that's what you're doing. But interesting. You must be very old. I wish we had more time even to figure out what's going on with you.
The Zodar's just staring at you.
I wonder, if you attract misery, or if you make misery, or maybe you cure it. I'm quite happy. Well, this was a very good talk.
It's just standing there.
Thank you. I imagine that Professor Hayseed, like, occasionally perches on the Zodar as we're studying. And Stampy, of course, believes that Professor Hayseed is also researching along with him.
Yeah.
Well, we've learned all there is to know. Thank you. That's it. That's it for me.
Are you going to share this information with everyone else, or are you going to keep it to yourself?
No, I immediately walk into whatever room other people are in and be like, look what I found. The Zodar is so old.
How
And-
old is he?
Yeah, so old that the language that I did once upon a time read about them in, no one speaks it anymore. So we're a little bit out of luck in terms of newer information.
What?
But I know that it's old. And something to do with misery.
Oh.
Do you feel
misery
miserable, Kraz?
group. Never.
Oh, see? So it's not causing misery. It's not spreading it. So I was thinking, could
I've
be
got money,
drawn to
fortune,
it.
and fame.
Do you?
Yes, I said money and fortune just to double down on how rich I am. Yes.
Mm.
Well, not here. Prime material. Here, I'm completely new.
Does that make you miserable?
No, do you?
Oh.
I was wondering if you were going to ask if I was going to pay off your student loans just now. That's what I thought that's what that look was.
No. I'll be able to do that once I graduate
Good Lord,
and
I'll just
become
um,
the finest and most knowledgeable wizard in anywhere.
I've got you, buddy.
Thank you.
Hassan and Mirage can decide whether they are in the same room having the same conversation.
I think Mirage has been in the corner, literally doing this. These are like little magnets that stick to each other, kind of, and you can
Cool.
kind of balance them, kind of.
Mhm.
So Mirage has done this and seems very proud of it.
I think Hassan was I think he's in some kind of meditative state, kind of like on the ground, on the floor, legs crossed, facing Mirage. But I think he was probably watching them do this, but then at some point kind of went into his meditative state, and it's just kind of, I guess, just going through controlled breathing. I think just a thing they do just to center themselves, especially after like plans go wrong. I think he's pretty good at improvising, but doesn't mean he enjoys it. So he's kind of like, okay, let me center myself. I am back in control now. I know what's happening, and it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be all right. And just quietly breathing in and out as they're centering themselves again.
Mirage will put their item down, I think next to a whole lot of other items that they were sort of playing with, just to keep their mind busy. I think like Mirage has ADHD, let's be real. Needs to keep the fingers moving. And I think as Kraz and Stampy are talking about school, either of you might notice that as this on is meditating, Mirage is very not subtly listening to your conversation, and I think their face and specifically their brow is furrowed, just listening.
My passive perception is a 15.
I'm sure you'd notice. I don't think Mirage is trying to hide
Yes.
that.
I do that thing of not even looking at you while I'm still looking at Stampy. Mirage, is there something wrong?
No. Uh, uh, look.
Oh, yes, that wasn't obvious.
Mirage, are you miserable?
Oh,
What?
Miserable. Do you feel misery thrust upon you as if from another world, another time?
No.
Ah, check.
I'm quite happy with this on, and I was very not happy before I met this on, but in meeting them, I was able to make a new life, a better life for myself. Definitely.
Oh, you should tell them that.
Uh,
That's very
they
nice.
they know.
Oh, of course.
yes, I believe the only reason that they have 50 feet of rope is to show how happy they are.
What is that supposed to mean?
Sometimes my room is next to yours.
I
Don't, Stampy. No, don't.
I
No.
haven't.
Let's not go there. Stampy, you're not ready for this. Stampy, you're not ready for that. That's an advanced class, and you're not ready for it yet, my dear boy.
I'm a student. I am here to learn.
Not that lesson.
Okay.
The
Well,
son is a great teacher.
Okay. No.
well,
That's moving
I
on,
just-
Stampy.
it's just that I was, studying this creature, and I remembered something from an old history class back in my first undergrad, where I learned that these ancient texts in a language that no one speaks anymore, so I can't finish it. But things like this, they were some sort of harbinger of misery or totem of misery. And well, that's as far as I got. So I was just testing the water, seeing if being around it makes people feel miserable or makes the misery go away, or maybe attracts misery, or I don't know,
Oh,
any sort of misery business that
but
I could figure out.
if it's a harbinger, that just means whatever misery it is a harbinger of just hasn't gotten to us yet, really. And by us, I mean in general. I mean
Hmm.
the royal, like the royal we, like everything. Because if Mirage is correct,
Yeah.
with what they said, it served beings and creatures far beyond us at this point in our at our current levels of life and whatnot. So things could be coming back. Things we don't know. The Astral Sea is a weird place. So, and if they already live here, they serve weirder things than what's already weird here. Maybe it's just a beacon for weird.
Perhaps.
And I'm quite a fan of weird things, unless it's trying to kill me or ruin my outfits. I cast Prestidigitate finally on Mirage to dry their clothes.
Yeah. Thanks.
I was wondering if you were ever going to ask the child, and you didn't. You just kind of zoned out in the corner there, and I was gonna leave. Oh, by the way, Alex, can we say that I actually tired out the kid?
Oh yeah, the kid is like totally zonked out right now.
Okay.
Not in the room, but like is zonked.
I
Yeah,
don't know
just-
if you can hear Poncho snoring, but that's the kid snoring.
Okay, there we go. Perfect.
I was gonna say I would have put him in the room with his parents, and they were just a bunch of sleeping Yanti, like sharing body heat, like snakes do. It's like,
He-
oh yes, finally.
The dog is snoring with his eyes open. That's so weird.
That's how I sleep. That's how I sleep. I sleep like a serial killer with my eyes wide open.
One eye open at
I
all
sleep.
times.
I sleep just like Gandalf. Just
See, my dog sleeps with one eyelid open because they have two sets of eyelids. So, and he'll dream. So he'll like his eye will be blinking, but his second eyelid isn't open.
Oh,
So-
maybe that's what's happening because he's kind of in the dark.
Okay.
Random aside, sleeping with your eyes open isn't all it's cracked up to be, because sometimes while you're dreaming, you just see the room you're in, and the dream is happening in that room.
Yeah.
It's like a permanent state of sleep paralysis. All right. So they're sleeping. Back to character right away. I just don't hope that whatever it is a harbinger for doesn't get here before we can get it to the people that actually know what they're looking for. Not to say that you're not well-versed, Stampy, but there are people who have you're well-versed in what you're well-versed is, just like there are other people who are experts in their field. A consultation is not beyond you. I had to seek consultations when I was learning the sword. Not that I've had a chance to use it on this adventure yet, but then again, I've just been setting things on fire, haven't I? But still.
Wait, really fast. Have we been having this entire conversation directly in front of the Zodar?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Yeah. I don't. Kraz doesn't have a high enough wisdom to actually give a crap. He has the things he has in wisdom just make him perceptive, but unconsciously perceptive. He is not actively perceptive. So he doesn't actively care if the Zodar hears or not. Like, I live in one moment and then I'm in the other moment. But also, we've already stepped it. It can hear us. If it's going to try and do anything, it probably would have done it while we all had our backs turned. And I quickly turn around and look at the Zodar.
Just
Is it-
standing there, still in that like stasis kind of state.
Yes. All right. That's my eye on you, buddy. But you did save my friends earlier, so I guess you're all right. I get in its face and I just give it one of these, and I know it doesn't react, but
Imagine if it did. It wastes the second communication to just do this back to you.
Amazing.
that's how extra Kraz
Like,
is.
oh
It brings
shit,
it out.
one left.
It brings it out enough. Like, I'm gonna annoy you into just using one of them. Well,
Annoy him
I'm
until
not
he just
touching
says the
you.
word
I'm not
stop.
touching you. I'm not touching you.
I definitely think though Mirage at some point would have found out that the Zodar is magnetic.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Like
I've got-
100%. That's something that Zay would do.
I've got a bunch of magnets in my bag, and I'm
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
doing
even
making little. Maybe I actually do this. I transfer my this to the Zodar.
because I've heard the descriptions, they're just really known as like the moving glass. They're made of obsidian. In the descriptions given, does that just sound like they were constructs, like something made them and then imbued them with life, or were they born?
Some say that they were constructs, some say that they were born. Some say that constructs are born. The people who who wrote these stories about them are very loose on what their consideration of life is.
Could I do an investigation check just to see? We've had it this entire time, but we've never checked it because we never really considered it to be living. Could I check to see if there's anything on its person, any type of I've got this secret compartment because I'm technically a construct right here that no one ever looked at because I'm a creepy Zodar type of deal. Could I do that?
Yeah, go ahead and roll an investigation check.
Cool. I'm gonna trust the online roller. Don't screw me. It didn't. Dirty 20.
So you begin to like poke and prod at the Zodar, kind of, like touching it, like feeling in the crevices. And as you do this, the Zodar actually like wakes up and stands back up at like attention instead of being in that stasis kind of slouched thing. And he just kind of stands there. And it makes it a little bit easier to get into the cracks and crevices. What you find is that the majority of his body is plates of obsidian or some kind of metal, some kind of very black, luminescent metal. And whenever you feel underneath the metal, it really feels like muscle, like just tensed, very dense muscle, like if you touch a running horse's, like a racehorse's leg, that kind of dense, thick muscle. And it just seems to be that way all throughout. The only thing of interest that you can find, though, is that the thing on top of his head, the dome on top of his head, there's these two little slits in the dome that are his eyes, the blue eyes. I can post the picture again if you guys want. Let me see if I can find it. If you look into those, I'm trying to find the picture of the Zodar in my pages, and I don't think I'm going to be able to. If you actually look at the if you actually look into the slits of the opening, it is a helmet. It is a helmet. Oh, thank you so much. The two blue slits of its eyes, there is that you can like stick your fingers in there, and there's something illuminating in there to make his eyes illuminate. And he doesn't flinch or anything whenever you stick your fingers in his eyes.
I was gonna say I was gonna try to take the helmet off, but sure, I'll just stick my finger inside of its
You
eye.
try to take the helmet off, but the helmet
It's
is actually like almost like suctioned on with his neck muscles. It feels like his neck muscles are pushing on the outside of the helmet and making it impossible to remove.
Do I take any damage sticking my fingers inside of its eye holes?
No, it doesn't do anything to you.
A sentence I'd never thought I'd say. Okay. Do I gain Golconda? Do I achieve supreme enlightenment?
No, you just know that there's like something. There's like inward stuff. There's something inside of his head lighting it up.
Okay. There's something more to this, but I'm not the one to go searching, but I woke it up. Apparently it was okay with me inspecting them. Well, that's all I've got. I was trying to find, maybe there was an ancient note from the before times that magically we could read, but it's just a metal guy. There's some muscle under there. This thing is yoked. It's yoked underneath here. It's like, I've seen some large muscles in my time. I've seen Thassan. I've seen Stampy's trunk.
Thank you.
I've seen my well-chiseled physique, and then whatever this one has going on. And of course, Mirage. Mirage is just the aesthetics over here.
Mirage just starts subtly flexing.
Could instantly enter the fantasy IFBB professional bodybuilders competition if they wanted to.
Oh yeah.
But
I think
this one,
Mirage's muscle is like their back muscles are
Mhm.
really toned, and then the arms.
yeah, I
But
feel like
specifically the back muscle.
it's like, well, yeah. So there, it's not completely machine or construct, whatever it is. Maybe it developed over time. It has some musculature, something of I would say something biological, not created.
Do we
Once
think
again,
Interesting.
and there's also something on the inside actually making its eyes glow. Like I can't exactly reach it, but there's something on the inside of it. That's like there's something more, but I can't. I don't want to break it, and I don't know if I could, and I don't know what it would do if I tried. I know, Stampy, you're all about in experimentation, but I apologize for disappointing you, but I'm not going to be the one that does this, that acts upon this hypothesis, as you would say.
no, and I wouldn't advise it either. We like to research, but only on things that can consent to such types of research. All I have been able to do is what I can observe,
Oh,
and what I can remember.
I've fully stuck two of my fingers inside of its eye holes, but I just
Well,
couldn't open it.
it's just,
Like
I
I
understand.
totally just did one of these numbers on it.
With, you know,
I did the, and
that's fine, I guess.
it didn't hit me with this thing right here. Like it didn't do that, so it didn't mind. I wasn't poking it in the eye.
That would be very funny, if it did do that. But that's okay. You're still learning, and we can go through the ethics portion of research and study another time.
Ethics. I don't
At
have
this,
time for ethics. I'm not a scientist. I'm an adventurer.
no,
I'm a
you are
violent
not a
sociopath.
scientist.
I am a violent sociopath, as all adventurers are.
I
Yeah.
just want. I just wonder if we should just talk to it straight out and just see if it tells us what it wants to do.
All right.
I mean, it has been here the whole time.
It's
Right, but-
it's been listening.
Well, sometimes. Have you ever been? I've certainly been in a room where people are talking about you, but they're not talking at you. So, you don't know if you should cut in or not, or if you should just stand there and take it. Maybe if we just direct.
I will
Stampy,
I will note that after you started like messing with it, it stood up out of its like stasis, and it has not gone back into stasis. And while it was pointed at you, guys beforehand in its stasis moment, it really feels like it's looking at you.
Would you like to join our conversation circle?
You don't
And,
have to
and
actually
Mirage
respond.
just moves and leaves a space for it to join our little circle.
And we won't consider it you conversing with as if you just happened to float over for some reason. Like maybe you just felt like it.
The Zodark takes a very, very long pause and then walks over to the space and just stands in it. But he's not looking down at you guys, he's just looking directly ahead.
All right.
All right. Nice.
I think the sun in their seated position, you hear them sigh, and then almost like overlapped with the sigh, you hear like several hissing of snakes, and you see the snakes on his tattoo kind of writhe and move slightly, and he slaps his thighs and just goes, "Oh, okay. What did I miss?" And like stands up to join everyone.
Oh, we're talking to to our new friend.
Yeah, you turn
Oh,
around and the
Zodark.
Zodark's in the fucking circle. He's not looking at anyone, he's just staring off, but he's not in the corner anymore or in stasis. He's in the circle. And I think while we inform the San of what's going on, we should take our break because I've been looking for a
Perfect.
spot. So
That was
we will
perfect.
go ahead and take our break here and then reconvene in 10 minutes, probably something like that.
Yeah.
So don't go anywhere. Go ahead and check out everyone's links as they are in the chat. And yeah, we'll be back in one moment. All right, and we are back, and I believe we are coming back on explaining to Thasan the events and happenings that we have unfolded with the Zodark.
Yeah. I mean, we
Correct,
can skip over that if we want to in character.
Yeah,
We can be like,
Yeah.
Tasan
Yeah.
just listens intently.
Yeah.
And
It's like,
that's
I'm miserable. I've never been happier. And
Then I and then I stuck my finger in its eye holes, and then you woke up. And why were your arms hissing?
I don't know. They just do that sometimes. It's that
That's-
letting off
that's-
steam, I guess.
That's regular to you. That's not.
Yes, I mean, didn't you see some of my tattoos literally come off of me when I cast spells?
I
Yeah.
thought that was part of just the magic. I thought those were magical runes that you put on yourself in the shape of a snake. I didn't think that they were actually alive snakes.
I mean, life is a strong word. I think it's close to it. but
That's not
quite.
okay. We're gonna have one day. We're going to have a serious talk about where your power comes from.
It comes from within.
Oh,
Honey, darling.
within.
I may not. I feel like you confuse my not caring for me not listening. I heard what you said in the woods.
I don't think I understand what you're talking about. So what is the game plan?
Well, I think the suggestion that I had was that we talk to our friend here and ask directly where they would like to go. It seems like we have an audience.
Would you like to go back to the cradle of all creation of the astral sea? Is that where you're from? Is there a god that you serve that is still out there? Or some
You're
weird eldritch being floating through? Is there a spaghetti monster that you
Kraz,
worship?
they only have one, like 2 answers left, and you asked like 5 questions just now.
No, that was just a random stream of consciousness. I just want to see which one perks something up. Like, what's it going to go for?
I mean, I think Stampy's very specific one actually helps because it could give us a lot of information in one go, I guess. Where do you want to go?
Yes,
Soda?
that's what I would like to know. Where would you like to go?
The Zodar kind of stands there for a moment, like a beat too long. And then he turns around, goes back to the corner that he was in, turns back around to face all of you, but doesn't go into stasis.
Okay.
So just away from us. Okay, so just fuck us. All right, cool.
That didn't. Kras, hold on. Are you feeling misery in any way, shape, or form?
I'm feeling slight annoyance, but not misery.
Okay.
I don't know. I think it just seems like if they wanted to leave, they would leave, and they're fine with sticking around.
I mean, it's a gigantic behemoth of a creature. So yeah, I
Yeah.
hate to
This is going to be a strange question. I'm sorry, Daryl. Actually, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
Can I try to like insight check what the behavior that it just did?
Yeah.
And see if like it is giving me any sort of feeling like either way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Feel free.
It's giving.
And if
us
anyone wants to insight check with, I allow multiple people if it's in their brain to do it.
13.
Does anybody else want to insight check the Zodar?
Sure, my big +0.
So San already thinks he understands it perfectly. You know,
Yeah.
San is perfect. He doesn't make any mistakes.
Okay.
Natural one.
One. Oh God.
If I didn't have
So-
Jack of all trades, it would have been a 0.
So Kraz has no fucking idea what's happening. As far as you can understand, Stampy, there was a spot that it was in, that it was just chilling in, stasis, whatever. And then people interacted with it, came out of stasis. And then whenever a question was asked, it went back to the spot where it was originally, and now it's there again. It's in the spot that it was told to go to. Like the same exact spot.
Hmm. Well, I feel like we're getting partial. I don't think that's a response to my question. I think it's just perhaps declining to answer.
Which, from what we understand, is honestly fair because it can only answer 2 more times.
Hmm.
Well, we still have a few days trip to get to where we're going. That's plenty of time. And
Yeah.
I think I just gave. Hold on, let me check my notes. I think I just gave Inchi and Lusix the first nap they've had in about weeks, possibly. So
Hmm.
I think for the time being, we go with the flow, I suppose. Not
When
much
you
we can
say
do.
that, the Zodar starts shutting down into the stasis where it kind of like curls in on itself and starts slouching.
Wake back up.
It stops slouching and then sits back up.
Raise your left arm.
It doesn't do anything.
Hello there, friend. Rejoining the festivities of the
Fight me.
day.
It doesn't do anything.
Okay, I was just wondering.
If someone's fully ready to just back up and watch whatever happens.
Same.
I was
So
just
when-
saying
Raj
what.
just kind of like did
Like,
one of these.
ooh,
Okay.
ancient 7 of gods. I'm not involved.
So when we talk to it directly, when we talk to you directly, that's when you are engaged with us. But you don't seem to like direct questions, which is fine. We don't
But-
need to ask you any direct questions.
Stasis mode.
It doesn't do anything.
You can relax.
It doesn't do anything.
All right.
And
I don't have
also-
any alcohol.
It is staring above you guys. Like it's not actually like looking directly, like leaning down, looking at you. It's about the same size as Stampy. So it's looking like it could look like Stampy, but like it's just staring straight.
All right, so I'm gonna go see if I can get some booze off of one of these workers. And I leave. That just made me need a drink.
He leaves, and as soon as he leaves, the Zodar's head goes, and then stasis.
Well,
I think Zoda has a sense of humor, personally.
Maybe. I can't figure out. We want to talk to you so badly.
I find out this Zodar's just been doing a bit this entire time.
Not this.
So like it really only has the 3 responses, but everything else has just been a bit. It's like, no, I'm gonna slightly respond to you and then just ignore everything else. Sleep. Oh boy. Can I roll a persuasion to see how how good a quality of alcohol I could get.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Let's see. I'll roll real. From that 13 for a total of where's my persuasion? 22.
Yeah, I mean, like, these guys make a lot of money. Like, they're not.
Okay.
They're like in a union, you know, like they're unionized, so like they make
Yeah.
money, and
This
so
was this was mainly to see like if they were gonna try to be stingy with the good stuff, because I'm sure
oh
they
no,
have the stuff that they just give for people like us that kind of book passage last minute. It was like, yeah, here's our weird stuff.
they're definitely drinking contesting you.
All right, I'm in a drinking contest then. That's what I'm doing upstairs.
So this is really fun because I don't normally get to ask this question for short-lived games. If you remember at the beginning of the game, I asked you, what does your character do to pass the time? So now as we've developed the story and developed personalities and developed friendships, what do your characters do to pass the time?
Oh, the things I can mention on stream that they do in their pastime. Uh, I think they do a lot of like working out. I think in general, just trying to keep themselves spry and stretched out.
Mhm.
And I think if allowed, they'll help out around the ship. I think
Yeah.
the son of all people understand that some people can be very testy about strangers messing around with their ship. So obviously he won't do it without asking for permission first, but they'll do a little bit of that. Probably play with Theron whenever he wants
Yeah.
to play as well. And I guess probably playing with the hamster, playing with Noir as well.
Cough, cough, and playing with Mirage.
I said I can't. There are things I can't mention on stream. You know, I want to keep on TOS.
It was rated. If this was rated M for mature.
But also just in general, hanging out with Mirage, of
Yeah.
course.
Hanging out.
With a 50-foot of rope.
100 feet, because I got 50 feet myself.
true, that is true.
100 feet of rope and a ball gag.
Oh my God.
That's not in the standard equipment.
Oh
Daryl!
my God! What's
Hello?
happening?
Hello?
Why do you have that
What is happening?
on
Hey, we
hand?
all bought weird stuff during COVID.
I mean, good on you.
You know
I
what's
didn't expect
so
that.
funny? I could go right there and get rope, and I'm really tempted to, but we're not
Look,
going to.
sometimes you gotta have stuff for the bits that you do during games. All right.
For the
Daryl
bits.
just buys very high quality, very expensive equipment for the bits.
For the bits.
Crop top, like
Stampy
Carrot Top.
Stampy passes the time by kind of bothering, I think, Mirage and Thasan periodically, not always, like, you know, just periodically popping in to sort of bring up like different magical things, and we'll try to like gently coax them into like showing how they do it, and Stampy is going to try to watch them and like figure out a logical explanation for that spell, knowing that yes, it's coming from like inherently within them, but Stampy is just gonna sit and like watch them perform magic and be like, okay, there's okay, there's a so you're calling this, okay, I get, no, I get it, and is going to try to logic it.
I think at some point during this voyage, watching you watch my partner Mirage will just like come and like plop next to you,
Mhm.
and will just like quietly say, you know, I had to train very hard to do what I do.
You did.
I did.
Well, that makes a lot of sense to me because you are very proficient, extraordinarily so. It stands to reason that you have spent a great many years honing
Thank
that
you.
skill.
Thank you. I wasn't always this physical, but my old life was a lot of well, what you do, but it didn't suit me, I guess.
Mm.
I don't really like sitting and, staring at paper for
Ah,
long periods of time.
yes.
I've always had a sense of adventure, and, I just wanted to get out in the world and learn by doing and learn by failing a bunch.
Mm.
But to get these, had to train a lot.
Very good. That's quite comforting. And yes, it's not for everyone. The
Discipline.
the discipline and the constant do-overs and the repetitive motions and words
Well,
and all of it.
it's like I always used to say, if you get punched, you stand back up again and punch them back harder.
I can't do that at university, but out here I can. So
No,
that's
but
been nice.
but you see, you can. Maybe not physically, but if someone punches you,
Ah,
you can always punch back.
right. Like if a school of magic is being a particularly big pain in my ass, punching me, then I can get up and say I hate this school of magic. I choose not to learn it and be punching it right back. Right?
Yeah, more or less what I was saying, yeah. But you just, show him, if you fight with your brain, you show him you're smarter, and you can fight that way. They'll get
Fight
off your
with-
back.
Yes.
Your trunk
yes.
is very strong. How? Why?
Encyclopedias of magic. So what I do when I am in the school library studying, I have I have one hand to practice casting with, and the other hand to to write and make notes with, and this is my holding up the encyclopedia hand. And
yeah, no,
Mhm.
those are big, large books. I
Hefty.
see how that would, yeah. You could
Mhm.
hit somebody with those, you
Oh,
should
yes.
carry one as a weapon.
There's actually a goblin in my class, and they just plop the book out on a table and climb right on top to read it. And so it's different. It's very large.
That
Are you
makes
watching
sense.
this and you see the sun like cast a fly spell and just hanging upside down and watching Stampy?
Oh, nice.
Oh, very nice. Well, so oh, so it is different. It's the same, but it's different.
But different. Yeah.
Ah,
Honestly,
Right.
Mirage is quite a bit more impressive. I don't know. I still don't really understand
do you
how you
mean?
cast some of the magic you do. I've seen you cast darkness, and it's very different to how I cast it. And the whole time it's like spinning around and twirling in the air.
uh, and Mirage looks back to Stampy and just says, "Yeah, sometimes my discipline and training has allowed me to become one with the shadows. And so, watch this." And Mirage is gonna walk to like there's just like a darker corner of the room. And I am going to just like put a hand on the wall of the ship where it is darkest, and you watch as these shadows like snake their way up my arm, and like fully envelop my body, and you watch like this side of this corner of the ship just dim until it becomes pitch black, and then you hear Mirage's voice from inside say, "See? Well, I guess you can't see, but yeah."
It's really cool. Again, I'm just like flying around the orb of darkness that Mirage has created.
Wow. That is impressive.
And then you won't be able to see it, but like inside, Mirage is like just like going to like wave an arm around, almost like Tai Chi-esque, and dispels the darkness, and it just sort of recedes and fades back into the shadows of the boat. And Mirage is just standing there, sort of just like at like a ready position, a hand on their staff, and they then look directly at you, Stampy, and they just kind of like strike a pose.
Very good. I feel that I've learned quite a lot, actually, from you two.
About what?
Well, the world outside of academia, perhaps. Magic outside of books. And, well, you know, making time for people. I think that's very nice. Isn't that right, Mr. Hayseed? We should make more friends. I agree. Yes.
Friends are good.
Mm.
They help pass the time, I think, definitely.
Mhm.
And help you through hard ones.
Yes, like fighting giant bugs.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. A very
Bugs not your
specific
thing?
example,
Well, I don't mind the regular sized ones. Giant
Understandable.
ones, though, it gets
They might be a
dicey.
bit too big for anybody. I don't know if anybody
Yeah.
likes them that large. Somebody's snoring.
Aw.
Well, I think I've taken enough of your time for today. Thank you so much, Thasan. And Mirage, thank you for what you said earlier.
What did I say?
Just you spoke very wisely about taking time away from study and also about punching things back. It was very good.
I'm glad.
Mm.
Sometimes I say things that are not helpful. So I'm glad I was able to help you, even if just a little.
You were. And now Professor Hayseed and I have friends to make. Kraz said he was on his way to the alcohol part of the ship, right?
The bar? Yes.
Yes, that's where I shall go. Stimpy will march on.
Alex, how much time would you say has passed since I left and this conversation happened?
You're probably trashed.
Could I roll a performance check? Because I would have very much tried to get them in a rousing rendition of One Day More.
Go ahead and roll a performance check.
18. Even trashed, I can still pull it off.
So here's the thing. Nobody knows the lyrics.
Yep.
But they all get the melody. So
Yep.
they're all doing that
One more
drunk
day,
thing.
da ba da ba.
Yeah, like that. Where it's like, da, 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 like that kind of thing.
One
That's
more
what they're
day
doing
to revolution, we will nip it in the bud. We'll be ready for these schoolboys. They will wet themselves with blood.
One day more.
Amazing. So, during your time before we make it to the Inforium, during the next 3 stops over the next like 4 days, is there anything that anybody wanted to do with the Zodar, with each other, with the parents, with the kid?
I would continue training the kid.
Oh yeah, the kid's
Cool.
totally into it. And he's actually
Yes.
pretty good.
Yes, I would continue to train him to the point where just because Kraz learned this lesson, magic can run out, and it's not, you shouldn't always depend completely upon it. Just wants to get him to a point where like he can use a separate weapon if things were to come to a point where maybe you're in an area where magic doesn't work, or up until the point where he can control his magic, he can defend himself, because his parents can obviously fight and they come from a place of war. Kraz, you know what? I would like to play this out with the kid. If he were to ever ask me why I'm teaching him, I would do that. I would tell him why I know how to fight now.
One afternoon, you guys are kind of standing on the main deck. Here I can change the music. The people have gotten to the point, the workers have gotten to the point where they actually enjoy watching the two of you spar. It's just kind of fun to do. And you know, they're always cheering for the underdog kind of a deal. One day you get him and you pin him.
Mhm.
And he gets really frustrated, like kids do, you know, whenever he's like, I can't get it.
In my mind, it's very much the Mask of Zorro with Antonio Banderas is trying to fight Anthony Hopkins. That's what I'm very much imagining in my mind.
It's very much what I'm imagining
Yes.
too.
You're still young. You will get it. Keep in mind, I'm well, technically speaking, I'm not that much older than you, but I've been doing it since I was a child. I was born able to walk and talk.
Why are you teaching me this? I mean, the San and Mirage, they told me that I needed to be older or something.
Tragedy doesn't know age. And you never know when you might be able to need to defend yourself or defend your parents, or at least help them. You've seen them fighting, and they do their best to try to defend you. When I was a child, my parents weren't able to defend anything until they got help. We were beset by one of the most hated creatures to my people, which is incredibly ironic. An ancient dragon. And he shows him a necklace that he wears, and it does have a white scale on it that's been shaved down and very small. This is what's left of it now, because eventually they came together, taught themselves to fight in secret, and felled the beast.
You can see now that Theron has completely changed his attitude. He is, and this music is not good for this. He is now sad. He is now like very much you can tell that you have struck a nerve inside of him, but you're not 100% sure why it's hitting so deep. And he looks like he's about to cry.
Did I say something wrong? I very often do that when I think I'm being incredibly charming.
He looks up at you with tears in his eyes and he said, "My sister was defending us. But
Did she fall?
yes. She made sure that Mom and Dad and I could escape because the people who want to rid the world of the snakes had come to our village and were ridding the world of snakes. And she was a warrior. She fought in the war, came home because she got hurt. And he looks at the rapier. I wanted to fight by her side, but she said no."
And she was wise in that moment. Because you did not know how to fight, you did not know how to defend yourself yet. If you had, I've seen samples of your power. If you can control that, you'll be able to do incredible things.
That's why we're going to the Emporium. Apparently, not many people can do what I do or something.
You're born with it.
I don't want to be born with it. I just want my sister back.
Don't ever tell Stampy this. I've studied quite a bit of magic.
Really?
Oh, yes. Most of it is innate. I didn't need to study it. I chose to. And when I say, well, not really innate, I kind of just want it and I can do it. But also, not a lot of people can do that. There is magic if you study enough.
Well, that's
And
what I want to do. I want to study it and I want to go back home and tell those people to go away.
Well, there's that, and I don't take this as 100%, but I've heard of and I've met people that do have magic that can bring people back. So, if you truly want your sister back, study. Don't give up. Don't give up like you did just now.
He kind of like is crying at this point and he wipes his tears away and he grabs his rapier and stands up.
Are you ready to go again?
Yeah.
Very good. Now, before we start, I want to let you know that was not a promise that I just made you. I'm just telling you of magics that do exist in the world. It's completely on you whether or not you put forth the effort to find them, master them, and use them. The same way it's on you to put forth the effort to block this. And then I like mid-sentence, just go for him.
And you guys continue your fights. The boy a little more determined and swinging a little bit harder than what he was before.
Yeah, he goes full Levi and just jump into my face and friggin'. Hey, hold on now. Don't make me pull it out of the sheath now.
Does anybody else have anything else that they want to get done during the time on the ship? All right. As you approach the Emporium, the one of the crewmen don't have to come downstairs to tell you all that you have come there. By the way, I just want to say the parents have been like having conversations with you guys and have been very friendly, and Luxus and she have been very like kind towards you guys and like cooking you food and all this kind of stuff. Like they're kind of, you know. And so before the foreman is able to come down and tell you guys, the Zodar, who, if nobody has talked to it and nobody has interacted with this entire time, has stayed in that exact same spot that it shut down at, that it stasised in, and it has been stasis this entire time. While you are all kind of waking up the morning that you're supposed to make it to the Emporium, you see the Zodar come out of stasis and stand straight up, and then get up onto, like, go up the stairs and make for the top deck.
Oh, okay.
It's all on his
yeah.
own.
Oh, it's moving. All right.
I follow.
I think it knows.
Yeah, I just follow it.
I put some mint in my mouth and drink some water and start swirling it around so I have minty fresh breath, and I start following.
Good. Great.
How you keep the fangs pearly white, baby?
As you follow it up to the top, you can see that it's like walking with a quicker pace than it normally does. Normally it matches your pace, but it's setting its own pace this time. And it walks all the way to the edge of the deck and stares in the direction that you can see the Emporium. The Emporium is in a wild space of a continent or a world that is almost like in an Eberron state. However, they are very picky about who they let in and out of their world since their technology is so advanced. What they do not, however, really care people coming and going is their moon. And the moon is Emporium. That is where Emporium is held, and it is the entire moon. It is just a sprawling landscape of buildings and testing grounds and fighting arenas and different contraptions, different trial and errors, different laboratories. All of these sorts of things speckle the moon in a white and emeraldish kind of colors, trying to stay looking like a moon, but not necessarily. The entire place is colonized at this point. As you approach the moon, there is actually a docking station directly outside of the moon that then you use skippers to land onto the moon itself. And you can see that there are several asteroids that are docking stations with several large ships such as this one coming into the Emporium. You see some of them are actually also heading out, going down onto the actual land itself, but most of them are staying at the moon. It seems like the moon has a lot of imports and exports, maybe. It also seems to be kind of the gateway to get into the wild space in general of this wild space. As you approach, the air comes rushing back to you as you approach the moon that actually has its own atmosphere surrounding all of the docking stations. And along with that, this sweet smell of the air, it is artificial air, and you can tell it is artificial air, but nonetheless, you have been breathing the same air for the past 4 days. So it's kind of like getting out of the airplane and being like, well, it's air. It's just nicer than this air, you know? And this whole time that you are docking and seeing all this stuff, the Zodark is just staring at the Emporium.
Okay. Honestly, pretty seamless journey. I thought we're gonna come across some more mishaps along the way. So
I know. It was suspiciously uneventful.
Stop.
Yeah.
Why are you both saying that? Now it's definitely going to happen. All right. Come on, tall,
What?
dark, and no facey. Let's go meet the professor, I guess.
So the Zodark kind of with that kind of picks himself up and without like saying anything to you guys, makes his way over to the ramp, pauses briefly, and if it was a humanoid, this would be the perfect place for them to say, I have no idea where I'm going, and then turns around and stares at all of you.
Oh, you get lost.
Hello.
This guy. I look
We're
directly
right
at Mirage.
we're right behind you.
I look directly at Mirage. This guy over here. What is this? Come on. Well, then I pretend like I know where I'm going and I walk ahead of it.
He follows you, and Theron and his parents are like, wait for me, and he like comes over and runs over to you guys. And she kind of looks at you guys and says, so we have no idea where my brother is on the Inforium. We just know that he is here.
Okay.
I'm sure.
But I can't imagine too many UNT being here.
Yeah, we can ask around. Honestly, we actually don't know how to get to the Inforium, so if you could lead the way, that'd be great anyway.
Oh, yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
I'm
And
pretty sure Crash the direction and walked, and I just fully trusted them. I only just now realized that this is the first time here as well.
Yeah, of course. And he goes down and directs you guys to go over to this place where there are these basically like skippers, like sail, like little dinghies. And the dinghies, there's a worker who propels the dinghy from the dock station to the moon and then back. And he can actually transport all of you in one go. So you all load up on the dinghy. But when the Zodar loads up on the dinghy starts to like sink. And so the Zodar hovers.
Smart.
And the kid that's doing the dinghy, it's clearly like a side job or something, like college student side job. The kid's like, man, another one of these things.
What?
Another one?
What do you
Just
mean?
is it-
Are they
Yeah,
common?
Another no, they're not really common. They're just really heavy.
But there's another one here.
Yeah, well, there's been a few, probably like 3 in the last 2 years.
Oh,
They collect them because apparently there's some prophecy or something. I don't know. That's not my field.
oh man,
Not my major.
Prophecy.
I like you. What was your name? John Exposition, was it?
I don't know the reference.
John? No, I was just calling it Exposition.
So yeah, he ferries you guys down and across. And whenever you get into the moon, you kind of realize how large, how much movement, how many people are here. It's kind of like New York City, where it's a small space, but there's a bunch of fucking people crowded in there.
Mm-hmm.
There are people moving crates, there's people taking notes, there's people doing experiments, there's people casting spells. It is just a lively, rowdy place, and it doesn't matter that you just step 10 foot out of the docking like there are so many people, and everyone is kind of just ignoring your existence. Like, no one's there to greet you, no one's there to get your money, no one's there to it's just college students.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
Well, should we? I feel like we can't possibly just leave you here. We need to find.
I've never been to one of these things before, a college or universities, whatever. Is there someone we can drop this off with?
Well, we could speak to. We could try
The
speak to a dean of
Space Dean?
Yes.
Spain?
Maybe they said there's been like two or three that have also been here in regards to our friend the Zodar. Maybe they can sense where the other ones are, but also it kind of looked very lost when it. Yeah, let's just ask around for their brother, and then we can go from there.
You can see that the Zodark is staring off into the Inforium, just like scanning. Like he's just staring off.
Okay, we'll get you to your family reunion. Don't worry. But first, and I don't deal well with being ignored. I I grab the attention of one of these little shits, one of these college students.
What do you need?
Okay, I'm gonna need you to dial it back about 20% of the attitude. Secondly, hello, we're here delivering a Zodar. Could you point us in the direction of who in the Emporium that we would deliver said thing to?
There's about 15 different studies on the Zodark going on right now. You're gonna have to be a little more specific.
I don't hear that 20% dialed back. Wait, do we have a specific person? Let me check my notes. I don't think if he did, I didn't write it down. Yeah, we just said deliver it to the Inforium, I believe.
Rodney, what did Rodney say 6 weeks ago when we started this game?
And she steps up and says, my uncle is Professor Morum. Do you know where his offices are located?
Nope, never been here.
Oh, you're okay, Professor Morum. That is in the study of the arcane arts. You are currently in the study of the histories department. You're gonna have to go all the way to the north until you reach the fountain. And once you go to the fountain, you're gonna go east, and then you'll be in the arcane arts department, and then you can go bother some student trying to study for their finals there,
Okay.
and they can help you.
I'm gonna place a curse on this kid.
I hope
His
you fail.
finals!
I don't do that. I'm not wasting a third level spell.
That's so
I'm
funny.
I'm
But
sure
I do press the digitation and make writing appear on their face that just says rude over and over and over again in multiple places, and I walk away.
Doesn't that have a verbal component?
I say the word rude. You've been quite rude. But okay, I appreciate the information. And that was the verbal component.
Okay.
As I was doing just general hand gestures that Kraz always does to hide whether or not he's casting a spell.
So as you guys begin walking north, it's amazing the walks of life that you're seeing. Although if Stampy actually went to college, this probably feels like Stampy's domain. Because it's like a giant ass college.
I like that you said if Stampy went to college.
I still don't
Stampy
know.
so went to college. All right.
Stampy's a con artist.
The way you said it is like now making me wonder if Stampy did go to college. Did they really?
Let's find the dean.
Or Professor Marum, right?
Or Professor Marm.
Yeah.
Since we were pointed the right direction, would this still require an investigation, or do we just kind of get there?
It is investigation with advantage. Whoever
Okay.
wants to lead.
Oh,
I'll roll it
go
if
for it.
people don't mind.
No, you go for it.
Natural 14, natural 16. My investigation. 23.
So as you make your way north, just as this poor little student studying for their finals said, there is this humongous fountain that actually has floating mechanics on it and floating pieces to it that have water seemingly coming from nowhere. It's coming from the create water spell, but seemingly coming from nowhere, pouring out of it in this beautiful filigree, and all along its edges and all in this area of this courtyard, there are just tons and tons of students studying things, and they have their books, they have mechanical devices that you've never seen before. There's someone working on a construct of like a spider or something. It is fascinating. And all the while, the Zodar is walking with you guys. And what's so funny, what's so interesting to you guys is that the Zodar is like speeding up ahead of you guys and then slowing down because he realizes that he doesn't know where he's going, and then he like goes faster and slower and faster and slow, like he wants to go where he's going, like he's in a pace to go where he's going.
Well, I think I see excitement on that blank little face of his.
It's starting to look like it, yeah.
Lord.
You turn the corner to go, and to go eastward, and you kind of realize for a moment that you are in the correct general area. You see a lot of different professors and a lot of different names and a lot of different languages, but there are buildings upon buildings upon buildings of professors in this location, of offices in this location, and it might be best to gain some insight as to which one, unless you want to just look at all of them.
No, I'll grab the attention of another student. I mean, the previous one we talked to literally said we should, so I'll just find one that's around. Be like, hey, excuse me.
It's you see this one, and whenever they turn, they have a construct of a little bird on their shoulder that looks very similar to Mr. Hastings. Can I help you?
Yeah, we're looking for Professor Marum. Do you know where we can
Do you
find
want his office or his classroom?
both? Would be great, actually, just in case he's not in one or the other.
Okay. 2 buildings behind us. There's a building that actually has a circular top instead of a rectangle or a square for a top. In that building is where his office is. You have to go on the other side of the fountain, all the way over to the west. There will be an auditorium building that is huge. That is where he teaches.
Perfect. I'm guessing you're not a student of his, but do you know when he'd be teaching or when he'd be in his office, or
I'm
no?
in one of his classes, but I know it doesn't really help with timings.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Thank you for the help.
Yeah.
I'll get up your hair.
She looks at Stampy, like, nice bird.
Oh, sorry. Yes, well, you should really introduce yourself directly to such a prestigious member of academia.
This person that you guys have stopped is an astral elf.
Mhm.
And she looks kind of younger for an elf, and she goes, well, my name's Nala, and that's Professor Hastings.
Hayseed, yes.
Hayseed.
Mhm.
This is my cherub. I actually built him, and it's a bird that looks very similar to Mr. Hayseed.
Oh, how very interesting! It's like a creation in your honor, almost. It seems like they've heard of you here. But I'm very impressed.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised. A lot of the professors here do like to polymorph to get around places more conveniently. Anyways, I have to go, but it was very nice meeting you. It was very nice meeting you, Professor Hastings. Hope you do well. And she walks off. Like, that was totally normal, like totally normal conversation.
Mm-hmm. How
Yeah,
lovely.
I will just exposit that information I was just given to the rest of the party. So they're either in the auditorium or in the I think 2 buildings down north. They might be in the office there.
All right, well, let's go then.
Which
The
one's
office.
closer to us? We're just going for the one that's closer to us.
Oh,
first.
yeah.
Doesn't make sense, right?
You see Enshi kind of like, I haven't seen my brother in probably 8 years now. This is kind of exciting. I look so disheveled. He's a professor, and like the snakes are like, and like, dude, Theron is like, oh my god, are we there yet? Like Theron is just
When she says that, I prestidigitate, but all three of them separately to clean them up and make them look better.
thank you so much. And then Theron goes, I could have done that.
Yes, I've actually seen you do that, which begs the question: why didn't you?
He
Said
kind
it.
of gets embarrassed. He's like, oh.
Yeah,
So you
which
guys,
one of the buildings is closer? We'll probably go for that one first.
so you guys walk towards the buildings behind you, eventually finding the one that has the circular top instead of a square. Leading into the room, there is leading into the front, the foyer. There are several names with several offices, but Luxus says, "Look, this one is in our language, and it says your brother's name." So you can see that all of the different names and titles are in different languages, the language of the person's choosing, kind of symbolizing the idea that like all languages are welcomed in this area and like everything is respected, knowledge is respected. And as you all make your way to his office, the Zodark stops and is like staring at you guys.
Yeah, I guess this is our stop. I want.
The Zodark takes a couple of steps forward and just puts his hand on your shoulder, Thassan.
Oop.
And then takes it off and then walks to the door.
Power word kill.
I'll just draw the crumple immediately.
No, but you see, it's got a delayed
Delayed power word kill.
Yeah, delayed
Yeah.
power word kill.
I've got max 10 days, you know?
Yeah.
So as you all go, the entry, the dad doesn't even like knock on the office. He just opens the door. And immediately you're greeted by this older gentleman who looks more humanoid, although he does have very snake-like, he does have scales coming across his face, and he does have a tail as well. He kind of startles, and he looks a little bit older with grayer hair. Some of his scales are beginning to gray as well. And he looks over and goes, "My brother, I got your letter, but I thought I was being punked. I thought I was being pranked." And he gets up, and him and Luke Six get in the room and hug each other. And as you all, I'm guessing you guys like enter the room too.
Yes.
Farron is of course like, "Hi, are you my uncle?" And because Farron's only like 6. As they are having their meeting, all of you once again feel in your mind the scratch, the same scratch that the Zodark did previously.
I will let it in.
I allow it.
I am a collector. I am a person, a being that only exists because misery exists. I am a collector of misery. I collect the misery of the people all across the astral sea in hopes of one day being able to complete my mission that I was set out to do, born to do, to take that misery and change it transform it into hope. You have led me here today to allow me to take the misery and transform it. I've only completed my mission because of you. And I just wanted to say thank you.
Out loud, Kraz goes, "Whew, all right, I thought that was going to go in a completely different direction, right? Anyone else before it said hope?
As
Yeah.
he's doing that,
Anyone else?
the Zodark steps forward, and you actually hear out loud this time the same voice, but it's an incantation. And it's an incantation that a lot of people know, because as a little kid, you try to cast it. You're like, I can do it, I can do it. You try to cast it. It's actually the wish spell.
Oh, shit.
And in a flash of luminous, bright blue light, just like the light of his eyes, you hear quite a loud crack, almost of shattering glass or thunder, and shield yourself from this brightness. When it lowers down on the ground where the Zodark once stood, in the fetal position, nude, is a young adult Yuan-Ti girl with beautiful raven hair that flows down her back and a beautifully crafted sword at her side. The Yuan-Ti have no idea what's going on, but as soon as they see her and recognize her, the mom and dad sprint to her side, collapse onto the ground, sobbing. Theron looks at you guys and smiles. That's my sister!
Oh,
You still need to study.
Oh,
And as he runs to his side, going, how did she get here? What? I thought we were leaving her. You all know what just happened. You just led a being to the place that it needed to be in to reunite a family. Of course, Merum immediately is like, oh, geez. And he runs out of the room and says, get the Trojans, get the Trojans, and starts screaming as the two adults are crying over her body. They claim that they say that she's still alive, like she's breathing and she has a pulse, but she's not waking to consciousness, assuming that that is a leg of the journey that us humanoids need to bring her forward.
Looks like this is a job for old Kraz to wake her up.
yes.
go right ahead. This is the first time even hearing of a sister, so I think I'm very out of my depth here.
Oh, I know. Oh, I know every. I look at the confused faces. I've heard the entire story. I know the whole thing, and I believe our very large. For those of us who have studied magic, we just witnessed a wish spell.
Ah. Oh, yes. We're going to cover that next semester, actually. So,
It very much just warps the natural fabric of all things, Stampy. Pretty much just covered it there.
yes,
I mean-
we'll get to it. We'll get to it.
And don't try it, because if you mess it up, bad things. You can there's a chance you can actually lose your magic forever, from what I hear. But
Oh, well. That's why we
reuni-
have to finish the course first.
At this point, Luxus looks up at you guys, says, what happened?
You remember the giant thing we were calling a lamp earlier?
Yes?
It just made a wish spell and brought your daughter back.
Oh my God. Why?
Hope. It took your misery and turned it into hope.
And she just kind of sits there. All of them sit there in silence. Theron just super excited.
again, Theron, you still have to learn, kid.
I will study.
All right, because I'll come back. I'll come back for you.
At this point, several people in white robes come in, and they all kind of go, "Oh, geez, okay." And so they take a cloth and cover her up, move her onto a stretcher, and then tell the family. They'll tell the family, we need to get her to the infirmary immediately, so we need to move. And they, without even questioning or thinking, just run out, taking Theron with them. Theron smiling the entire time, kind of going, "My sister's back, my sister's back, my sister's back," just like a little kid who doesn't understand what death is or bringing someone back to life would.
Oh, Theron,
Yeah.
when she wakes up, ask her to keep your training going.
Okay. And runs off after his parents and after his sister.
She's gonna kick your ass.
Marum is kind of at the door and goes, "All right, well, that is the 4th Zodark that has cast the wish spell while in our custody."
Damn,
That's-
we've got a pattern going on there.
A lot of misery here, if that's the case.
What happened directly before?
Oh, it says its mission was to collect misery and turn it into hope. That one, I couldn't speak for the others. Maybe they each have a particular mission, but that one was hope. Collect misery, turn it into hope. In this case, extreme misery over losing a child, brought it back, instilled hope. At least that's how I'm understanding it.
Well, either way, that is consistent with what we have heard from others. So,
I do have one question for you.
yeah.
Our mission was to bring the Zodark here. We still get paid for, we
Yes,
still get paid for getting it here, right?
Yes,
though-
you
alright.
still get paid by
Alright.
the college.
Obviously, it's
You
not
get the word
all
out
that.
of my mouth.
Like, obviously, that's not all that matters, but
No, it truly is. That's all that really matters. So I
alright,
just wanted
calm
to.
down.
I'm glad you brought that up, Chris. I was going to.
Yeah,
I didn't want to sound like a pirate.
It's not a pirate thing to say. It's just you do a job, you should expect to get paid for it. I think that's fair, especially in the capitalistic world we live in, that we have really no choice but to follow those rules and expect that to be respected by others.
In Draconic, I say to the professor, because Yanti speaks Draconic, I say, without an accent, this guy is totally a pirate. Totally a pirate.
What are
well,
you saying?
regardless, I am in all of your debts, not just as a person at the college who has been studying Zodar, but also as a family member. The reason why you were bringing the Zodar here was so that we could try to discern what its purpose was, so we could help it complete it.
Oh. Well, that was a bit inadvertent.
Typically, whenever the Zodar completes something, it tends to be a good outcome, and that tends to bring positivity and ultimately bring friends of the college.
I would say getting your family member back is a good thing.
I would also say that. What were you requesting in payment?
So we're going to get gold just in general, I think was one of the things. But your brother actually mentioned, or was it your sister-in-law? Can't remember. I just remember them promising that you'd be able to get us a Spelljammer chair, a jamming chair. That'd be a huge help. That'll cut a lot of the cost of the repairs off.
if it is a spell jamming chair you want, I can easily provide one for you.
Perfect.
The money will have to be taken up with the bursar. I have nothing over that, but
Oh,
Can
I
I
can,
strange.
oh,
just finish the direction of who they are?
let me do the talking with the bus, so I'll get to see.
Sure.
I don't think you've met a college bursar before. They are incredibly astute.
Darling, every bard goes to college. Okay. And then I go down and just start reciting Alexander Hamilton. About really to punch the bursar. Yes. No.
Well, yeah. Do we want to fade to black here? Does everyone feel comfortable with this being the ending?
We get the Spelljammer chair.
Oh yeah, you get the Spelljammer chair and get to
Then
go
yes.
home on the same ship.
Then yes.
Yeah.
I just want to roll to see how much, even though this is the last show.
Go for it.
I want to roll persuasion to see how much money I can get them up to. I'm trying to get us from gold to platinums now. Get a few platinum pieces mixed in there. 14.
Not an inch.
Not my best roll. I rolled a
Nope.
nat 5.
Yeah.
I just needed to roll double digits and it would have been good. You know what? I've been rolling rolling well this entire time. I'll let it go.
Yeah. Your luck is bound to run out.
All right.
Oh,
well,
that was a nat 19. Okay.
Dun, da, 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 da. Thank you guys so much for participating in my 3-shot. This was a story
Thank
that I have
you.
wanted to tell for a very, very long time. So I'm very excited. I
So glad
appreciate
to be
you guys.
here. Thank you for having us.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I've had a blast.
As always, if you want to watch this or any of the previous episodes, you can go check out Paradise Productions YouTube channel and check out their Twitter to make sure that all of you guys stay up to date with what they're doing. Hopefully I'll be back, but I just wanted to go ahead and shout myself out. Hi, my name is Aelxbomb, misspelled, of course, because I am incredibly dyslexic. And I have a book coming out. I have a book of all of the things that I think that a DM or a GM could find useful. It's system agnostic, and it's written with accessibility in mind. So the font is bigger, the colors are easier to read, and also I spent 2 hours learning how to put subtitles on videos because I found out that barely anyone subtitles their Kickstarter videos, and I'm like, why? That's so important. Anyways, so you can check me out on TikTok and also on Twitch where I stream. I have my own D&D live show as well, Initiative and Intrigues. We've been going for over a year now, so that's really, really exciting. And the dragons were extinct and they just came back, and now we're entering a secret society, and I have no idea what's going on. I really don't. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and throw it over to Daryl.
Hello, I'm Daryl, and I had the good fortune of playing Krazib Academian, the College of Swords Bard, who is actually the very first D&D character I ever made years ago. While for Critical Role's first campaign, the dragon was actually Boragol from that first campaign because I was like, what would I do if I was in Critical Role? You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Mr_Daryl Dorsey. Here on Twitch at Daryl Sucks at Gaming. I usually stream Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. What else? Check out the Fan Gang podcast. We are currently running our Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle. We are in our second chapter. I just released episode 15 over the weekend of the second chapter. They're all a hot mess. Also check out Treasures Untold. I believe if you listen now, we're still stuck in Jumanji, where I am Shadow Moon from American Gods, and it's myself, Arya, the guide from Jumanji, and a few other characters. Like we got Allie, from I can't remember the book that Allier is from. But there's a lot of stuff happening there. Anything else I'm doing? I will happily come back. Put me in your games. I'll probably say yes. And I'll toss it over to Dylan, who does so much of a better job editing podcasts than I do.
Don't compare yourself to me. I never get any sleep. It's horrible. Hi, I'm Dylan or Super Dylan everywhere on the internet. I am a tabletop RPG designer and actual play performer. You can find my games. Most of them are free, but we have a new game out that I really think a lot of you will like. It is called American Werewolf Biker Club. And it is an RPG where you and your friends are a pack of werewolves traveling by motorcycle across North America to visit different chapters of a continent-wide werewolf club. And it's very good, and I like it a lot. And that you can find linked to on my website, superdylan.com. And I would also like to say that the Atomless, our Starfinder podcast, has just launched a Patreon and is coming out with a lot of new cool things, and you can get early access to them on Patreon. I'm just saying. Anyway, that's it for me, and I will pop it over to Jay/Mirage.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jay. I
Got
use
me.
they, them. I'm on Twitter at NalaWoo and at NalaJaws if you'd like to see my art. I am an illustrator and art director doing freelance full-time in tabletop RPGs. Besides that, I also do voice acting, sensitivity consulting, TTRPG content creation, and actual play stream performance. I pulled up my calendar so I could say this with haste and with accuracy. Tomorrow night, I am on Itaewon by Night. It is our penultimate episode of season 1. Itaewon by Night is, we are the first and only, as far as I'm aware, all Asian cast playing Vampire the Masquerade. We are streaming on Going Critical RPG at starting at 8 p.m. And then this Thursday, I'm on a one-shot of Thirsty Sword Lesbians, where I am playing the Spooky Witch. It is going to be a murder mystery dinner party. I'm very excited. So if you like that, that's going to be on Thursday night at 8 p.m. On No, you guys are Paradise. What is their thing called? Why am I blanking? Hold on. Autumn Moon Studios. So Autumn Moon Studios, Thirsty Sword Lesbians on Thursday. And then on Friday, as a part of AceCon, I'm on a panel at 4 p.m. Talking about things which I am sleepy and I don't quite remember because I am tired. What is this? 1 second. It is about being neurodivergent and asexual. So if that sounds interesting to you, that is Friday, February 10th, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. On, I believe it's I do not have the actual channel name, but just follow my socials. I'll talk about it. But yeah, that's me. I had a lot of fun. This was my first character in a long time that had an accent, so that was super fun for me.
You did great.
Aw, thanks. And I'm gonna pass it to Mirage's lovely partner, Thisson, played by Drac.
Hi, I'm Drac or Draconics. You can find me on Twitter at Draconics. That is DRAKONIQUES. I'm a TTRPG writer, performer, actual play producer. I'm just all over the place, honestly. Following me on Twitter is the best place to figure out what I'm doing at any given moment. And things I will shout out is that Tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern over on Cantrip Breakers, I'm going to be continuing my guest appearance there as Kybus, the half elf, half Goliath barbarian. Where we left off, my character got possessed, so I think it's going to be some PvP, which is going to be interesting. Immediately after that, at 4 p.m. Eastern over on Table Story, I'm going to be in a homebrew campaign called Kingmakers. It was very fantasy based, and our fantasy characters walked through a door and ended up in New York City, modern New York City. So that's been very interesting, trying to figure out what is going on and why we ended up there. On Thursday, going to be the premiere of my Pathfinder 2E campaign called Veltorn over on a Roll For It. Everyone's characters are very cool, and I'm very excited to see what adventure we go on, because I don't know how much I'm allowed to say, but I'm very excited for my character. It's heavily based on an anime character that I'm very excited to flesh out. And on Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern over on Vanish channel, that's VANA, I'm in a D&D campaign called Strixhaven. This is going to be our penultimate episode of the season. And I think we're going to be on the tail end of our shopping arc. It's meant to be an episode, but we ended up stretching out a bit longer than it was meant to be. But a lot of lore was dropped, and a lot of trauma was unearthed, which is going to be very interesting to see how we navigate that. But yeah, there was a lot of fun playing with all of you, getting to play with Hassan. Yeah, no, it was a ton of fun. I'm excited. I really enjoyed playing this because I've always wanted to play Spelljammer. I really wanted to just be a space pirate. The moment I heard that was a thing you can do. So thank you for letting me indulge in that goal and fantasy.
We'll have to.
We're
we'll
not
have to do a
actually pirates, though.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
not
we're-
actually pirates.
we'll
We're
have
space
to-
privateers, you know.
We'll have to have a part 2 where surprise Kraz, they are pirates. Yay! And we go pirating.
Like,
wanna
Kraz, I
say
need to tell you something, and
wanna say
Mirage and I thought about it for a long time if we want to tell you, but we trust
This
you. and
might be
we'll-
hard to hear.
This might be hard to hear.
Kraz would be like, wait, I don't want to be a throuple with you. Like, that's what Kraz would say.
I think when you say that, someone would be like, shit, damn it. I turned to Mirage like, I thought he was going to be into it. I guess not. You can tell him the other thing you wanted to tell him now, I guess.
We're pirates.
Really? Shows you
Yeah.
shows you his notebook where it says definitely pirates. They talk in their sleep. Oh.
I thought we were being subtle.
Dude.
Stampy sure didn't catch on.
Part two is also just me paying for Stampy's student loans with my
No,
savings
Stampy
from the
is-
material point.
Part 2 is we go pirating to pay off Stampy student
Okay,
loans.
yeah.
Ooh.
I want to
That's
say
good.
thank you for everyone for putting up with my bits as Kraz.
Amazing. No, there's
We
a ton of
love
time.
you.
The bits were good.
I'm not normally the one doing bits, so thank you for putting up.
All
No
right.
worries.
Are we all good? Do we all feel good?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're good.
Thank you so much for everyone for watching. YouTube fam, we love you too if you're watching on YouTube. And with that, goodbye, good night, and we'll see you again.
Peace out.
Bye.